Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. This is build day 31. It's build day 31 on the pool project here in the backyard of Villa Feliz. The guys are here bright and early this morning, getting started. I sat down and I talked with the foreman this morning about what are the plans moving forward for today. I can't ask for more than one day at a time because it just always seems to change, so it doesn't make any difference. We'll discuss that as soon as we get into today's episode. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. So, like I said this morning, the guys are working bright and early. It seems like there are different areas, not one specific point of focus this morning. We are into the stage now where there's like little bits and pieces all over the place before we start doing anything and getting into the finishing area, which is we're talking about more like the tiles and all. So we still have a ways to go before we get to the tiles. And speaking of tiles, I'm hoping that we take delivery of the tiles today. I will have to ask and try to find out and get an update on that. So the areas that we're working on today, let's talk about it. You know, over here by the raised bed garden, I asked that we have a lower level of a little bit of a walkway over here so that we don't build up to the top of the raised bed garden. So that's what is going on here. A little bit of digging, drop the soil level down just a little bit so we can put a lower level from the coping side. So we'll be down about 12 inches, something like that. I'm gonna make a guess. Around 12 to maybe 16 inches down from the coping of the side of the pool. Now, it's my understanding there's a second area that's going to be worked on this morning, and that's going to be the 5-inch section of the swimming pool. Remember how we put the pool team put the bottom level here, the second layer of concrete on top of the main layer of concrete in this area where they did the build up, such as these two pieces right here. They're going to do the fill in between these two and on the outside just as they did over here. I think that's going to be done today as well. Okay, so I see a batch of concrete here. Now this, I don't know where this is going. This is, maybe over on that layer over there. I don't know. Okay, yes indeed, that's what it's for. It's for the fill in the 5-inch section of the swimming pool. So that's what they're mixing up there. Now, a couple things before we go into a little bit of time lapse to just kind of capture what they're doing here, and a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. Something yesterday, when you build a swimming pool, and it doesn't matter whether it's a swimming pool or it's a house, if you're building something and you have wires run, you have conduit and you have electrical wires run, you need some way to access those in case you have a problem and things break. So what they will do, they will make a junction box somewhere inside your house. It's usually in the roof. You'll see in the roof there'll be a box inside there. It'll be covered up, maybe part of the roof painted over where you can't see it. So at some point, if you have to get access to your electrical cables where you need to replace a cable or a wire, or you need to do a repair, you need to have a junction box where all the wires meet. Well, right now we have a junction box that will be going in this corner right here by these plants, and there'll be one on the inside of the little palm planter right there in the center of the swimming pool. I asked the foreman to put it on the inside, basically kind of up underneath the coping on this side, so you really don't see that. And if you put plants inside there, you'll never see it either. This one here might be a little bit more conspicuous, but it is on the edge of the coping here by the flowers, but you need some way to access it. Now, we could possibly put it over on the opposite side of the flowers and embed it inside there. Might be something that I'll talk with the foreman later on. We're not pressing for that at the moment. So I guess this answers the question that we had the other day as far as the skimmer being offset further back behind the wall of the coping. How were they going to approach this? Well, this is the answer right here, and I like this approach. What they do is they make the intake a little bit wider so you have more area to suck in the leaves and the debris that floats on the top of the water by doing the concrete to an angle. You see it on an angle on the outside. So you have more area space for the leaves and debris to go inside. And this will be finished off on the inside. It'll be nice and clean. It'll be finished off with the same tiling that will go around here and inside, so you won't even notice it. So that's the answer. Also up here you see our foreman is working on the other one as well. This is the one. This will be cleaned up. Again, this will be at an angle here, and I may be a little bit of an angle along the bottom right here. More area space to be able to more efficiently collect debris. Now for those of you who are wondering, how are we going to get 12 inches of difference between 5 feet and 4 foot? This is the wall that's going to block it off. They'll fill it in up to, you can see the line level that they have right here. So we'll be bringing it up to that level, because before you only saw maybe about 4, 5, maybe 6 inches. I can't remember. Somewhere around there was the difference. They'll make up the difference. They'll do more filler inside here with more concrete mix, and that will make up for the difference between the 4 foot section here and the 5 foot section over on this side. Now if you've ever had a question about how do you take all this straight pipe and on a complex rounded type of a pool system and kind of follow the angle of the swimming pool itself, this is how you do it. You take a heat gun and you slowly apply some heat to the PVC, and it will bend appropriately to the bend that you actually need without putting any crimps inside it. As long as you do it slow. If you do it too quickly, what will happen is the PVC will compress and will restrict the flow. But if you take your time and do it right, you'll have the same diameter on the inside in the entire bend. All right, well, it is lunchtime. It's right at noon, and while the guys are getting ready to take a break for lunch, let's go ahead and do like a halftime report, kind of see where we are the first half of today. So the first half, a lot of the focus was done over here by this skimmer and the other skimmer as well. We're going to look over there. You see, this is our overflow pipe, and overflow pipe, let me see if I can get a good angle. So you see, the overflow pipe will prevent any overflow, or a minimum overflow if the 2-inch pipe can't handle the capacity. But it's already buried. And that was the pipe that went into the top of the cistern that we completed yesterday. So that's done. You can see some of the plastic coat type of a cement mix here that will be lined with tile, mosaic tile here in just a little bit. Let's go look at the other skimmer. You saw from earlier, the other skimmer right there, it already has all the finishing of the last layer of the concrete mix that they're using. And then again, that will be waterproofed, and it will have the tile later when they start going into the tiling phase. You can see over in the 10-inch section, they pretty much, except for the leading edge on this side over here, they pretty much got that filled and leveled. Also in the 5-inch section from this area, this is where they were doing the mixing for all the other places. Well, I can't do any more mixing right here because now it's filled in. So pretty much the 5-inch, the 10-inch, and the 5-foot floor basin are done, except for they'll be doing some work here on this end and that end. Remember, there's going to be some special attention to this area right here and that area there that's going to have the non-slip transition tile to go from one step to the next inside here. But there still has to have some work done. Let's go back over here. Still has to be some more work done over in this area right here, because this is not going to be square. You see where the wall is there, it's going to round off here, so we still have nice round curves in this area. And this is also where there's going to be a little bit of a wall that's going to drop just below the coping of the finished coping on the planter right there. So this coping right here will be at the same level as the level of the outside wall. Okay, well, it's lunchtime. Lunchtime for us two here at the house. I'm going to get some lunch, answer some emails, answer some comments, and then we'll be back to the pool build for the second half of the day. I hope, I don't know, if you see the sky, the sky is kind of threatening some places. And I got a message from our good friends Dave and Emily down at Balak Buying Farming down on their farm in Rosario. Now they're letting us know that we're supposed to have some pretty bad weather coming again. They said something about lots of rain. Well, it is rainy season. Anyway, lunchtime. So anyway, it's break time for these guys. They get a break usually in the morning, in between the time they get here and lunchtime, and then about halfway between lunchtime and time to get off in the afternoon. It's 2 breaks plus lunch. But something I wanted to talk about while these guys are on break, because I wanted it to be between you and me. I just wanted to explain that I think these guys, they pay so much attention to detail, and it's unusual for me to find this level of attention with contractors that I've been associated with here in the Philippines so far. And case in point is this little area right here. I remember at the very beginning of our design, when we were putting the string down, at the very beginning I defined the shape of this entire swimming pool area. And then at the very beginning I wanted to make sure that we have no straight edges, that we have all nice curves. Nothing is in a straight line. And case in point was when I put this little design down here at the beginning, you can see the corner of this portion where we're going to have a little bit of a build-up of some coping here. It's just below the level of the planter right here. And I said I wanted this to go over a little bit inside, around, and then back like this, sort of like a little snake trail inside here. And the foreman here, he remembered that. He's once it was down there, he said, "Oh, I remember you wanted this type of a design. Is this what you want?" So he rearranged all the blocks for me, and I'm like, "Yes, you remember. That's exactly the way I wanted it." So that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of folks that you want to find when you're building something. You want somebody that remembers your needs and your wants and your desires, and they pay particular attention to that. So far, again, I'm really happy with the way these guys are doing this build right here. And one more thing while the guys are on break that I want to talk about is the skimmer. Remember, they did the sidewalls and the bottom of the skimmer, but then they have to do a covering on the top before they put the pebble rock coping over the top of it. So what they did over here, they made some pieces of plywood where they stuck underneath to give them basically a formwork underneath the ledge. They put 2 pieces of rebar inside there, and they covered it with cement mix. And this is the cement mix with the gravel in it too. It'll be very strong. Then there'll be another layer on top of that, like when they do the coping, and it will be part of the flatness of the walkway and the coping, and then the little sidewalk area of this. So it should be very strong. But I wasn't able to capture that when they put the rebar. Maybe when they do this one over here on this side, we can catch them when they're doing that as well. Okay, well, it is 5 o'clock. The guys just rolled out the gate. Our gate right there. And we're going to do a little bit of a wrap up right here. Now, I got to tell you, these guys, there's so much, I don't even know where to start. They got so much done today. It just seems like some days you just can't keep up with what everybody's doing. So anyway, they finished putting this section here with this beautiful design. Of course, it's like the spot over there where Hapon put his footprints or his paw prints over there, and this will all get covered up sometime. But I thought that was cute when the foreman did his little design to show us his little bit of artwork. So we have the return. This is the return that goes from the pump. This is what this blue pipe is, and it will put the water back into the swimming pool. It will push water across this pad right here, which is 10 inches deep, and it will also, from this little point over here, it will push water this way, and everything goes towards the drain, and it will do the recycling through the filter. They didn't complete all of it, but they completed most of it, which will make it very easy for the next day when they start working on the little walking pad over here. Now, this one right here is the overflow you saw earlier today, and it goes into the cistern, which I showed you that the other day. This is the return that goes in that direction from the pump house, and this is what I was talking about. They're not done. They have to continue running here into the pump house or the life support system over here. Now, something that my foreman said, why don't you share this with your people today? He's always got these great tips, and it's something I thought that would be interesting because a lot of people probably didn't know. Now, when you're installing this PVC pipe, there's actually a right direction, a correct direction, and an incorrect direction to put the pipe when it comes to the female and the male, the female flange here and the male insert. Since this is a return and the water flow goes in this direction, you want to put the male, slide it into the female receptacle right here, and the way it works, there's no flange here or the end or a hard stop like you have at the front of this. So this portion right here where it slides in, there's a flat section, and if you went in the other direction, you would be hitting that. You would be hitting the tip of this male insert right here. So if you did it like that, you would have friction loss, and you don't want that. So if you go in this direction, it just goes through this narrowing flange right here, and you have virtually no resistance. And that's important when you're calculating the horsepower and everything that you have for your pump. You add up all your couplers, you add the angles, and especially anything that has to do with especially a 90 or a 45 degree angle, and that's the key to making sure that your pipe is in the right direction. So on the opposite side, since this is a suction right here, this is going to be filtering the water inside the skimmer right here. There'll be a basket so we can collect the leaves and debris here, and we easily do cleaning on a day-to-day basis. It's the opposite way, which when I say the opposite way, since the direction of flow, the water flow is going this way, we're doing the same concept. The water is going from the male into the female section with the small flanged area, but no hard section like would be if we had the opposite way around. I hope you understand that. So that is how you set up PVC pipe when you're doing your water flow. Now you can see here on the side of the waterfall, our little sidewalk area, they completed putting the skimmer over there embedded inside the concrete. Underneath this section is also that blue PVC pipe, the 2-inch PVC pipe that will be going inside the life support system inside here. They got the little top on there. They'll clean that up. They'll make it nice and rounded just like they're doing here, which will end up being the coping. And then there'll be another layer of concrete and a finished layer of stone that will go on the top of all of that. So they got this section completed, as well as they finished off both in the 5-inch and the 10-inch section. Most of this is pretty much done. They did the section here for the nice curve for the transition from the 5-inch to the 10-inch drop inside there as well. I suspect tomorrow, well, let's wait till tomorrow. I don't even want to get into that because every time I think, again, that I know what they're going to do, they do something different. Anyway, so let's go ahead and close for today. So I don't know if you can hear over my shoulder, but that is the sound of joy and happiness in the Philippines. That's karaoke or videoke. And even though we can hear it right here, believe it or not, I flew the drone to kind of see. I kind of was a little sneaky today to find out how far are they away from us, because we can hear it pretty good over here. And we don't have really anybody that lives close to this section of the subdivision. It's pretty much all vacant. It's wooded jungle, farmland, and there is one small little place out that has like a few little pigs in their yard. There's like one house, but it's mainly a big cattle farm over there. But I believe the owners of the cattle farm, I measured, it was like 241 meters from here, 241, so a quarter of a kilometer, right about a quarter of a kilometer away. And when they put those speakers and they go in your direction, that's what you hear. But it's all about fun, and that's one thing that's really popular in the Philippines. And if you're coming and to retire in the Philippines, you're gonna have to expect that. Well, I think we're gonna close for today. Today was a very interesting day, a lot of productivity here today. I'm really happy on the amount of work that was accomplished. Tomorrow is another day, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Well, let's close. If you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MPID dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified. Do I have somebody over my shoulder that's video bombing me? Probably. You'll be subscribed and notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, from right here in the Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.